Good morning, you amazing people. It is, I guess, the first official week of 2026, and yes, let's get this vlog going. And it is now the first real week, so most of the traders, just get this, so most of the traders are going to be stepping into the market this week, and most probably volume might return, though I haven't had a very bad 2 weeks during Christmas and New Year's. No, it's taking it slow, not overexposing the accounts and that. But yeah, so this is our first week. So for all the guys that are trading, that are watching the channel, that are traders, welcome to the new year and the first week of 2026. Hope you guys are ready to be trading this year. I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Let me just focus here because this thing is not really focused. I think 2026 is going to be a wonderful year for trading, and I think it is going to be one of those years where those that are going to stay consistent and going to really put in the effort are really going to make some seriously good money this year. But now, before I even touch the charts, I need some coffee. Let's go get some coffee. All right, so we have our coffee now. Here it is. All right, so now let's jump into the market and see what there is for us this week. I can see that there's already a setup coming on Euro USD. Let's see. We've got about another hour on the candle. Then we'll see which way it goes. But before that, I actually want to take you guys along on something. So I need to do my daily diary, or no, my daily journal. How are you feeling?
I am feeling actually kind of happy because you guys cheered me up, but still.
Okay, so it's time now for some abs. Hi guys, so I thought in the vlog I want to show you guys what my pets look like, because I have lots and lots of them. As you guys know, if you've been following me on TikTok and joining my lives, you would know that I'm obviously a beekeeper. So let me show you guys some of my hives that I have here in my house. And yeah, for you guys that don't know, in South Africa we have what we call the African honeybee. Now, she is the most defensive bee of all the bees. So what does that mean? We cannot work with her unless we have a suit on. She is quite feisty, and when she's got honey, when the hive has got honey, they get very, very feisty. But I'm going to see if I can get close enough to them to show you guys what my ladies look like and what beekeeping is about. So there, you guys can see is 1, 2, 3 boxes. Now that box doesn't have bees in, but that one has, and that one has. You can see there's a little bee sticking her head out now. Let me zoom. So there you can see my ladies are coming in and out of the hive there. And look there, you can see that there's one little bee just up and down there. I don't know if these bees actually made it through winter, these ones. I will have a look at them later and see if there's actually bees in. But my other ladies, which are a little bit more feisty, is right over there. Let me see if I can zoom you guys in on them. Let me see, there they are. So they are actually in and out of the hive. There you can see they're cleaning up. They're really, really busy. And then for you guys that don't know about bees, let me round to the other side. Then I can show you guys what how the bees are orientating. So if you guys that don't know, when the new ladies, so the young ones come out, they're ready to fly and start collecting water and resources for the hives, they actually go for orientation flights. So let me show you guys what that looks like and how crazy. You might think they're aggressive, but they're not during that time. Have a look here. So that is the activity that is happening. Ooh, this is at the hive at the moment. And let's see if I can move over to the other ladies. That is over there. So there's another hive there. And I wish you guys can smell the honey from here. So that hive right there at the back, that one still has honey on her. So we need to pull those off, those 3 off for honey. And this is a box that I put over here. That was an old box where the ladies decided to move in. So you can see that there is quite some activity on the front and side there as well. Other times, guys, I will put boxes out like this, which needs like refurbishment and stuff like that. And then the bees would decide, wow, that's a really nice house, let's move in while she is there. If you guys can see, I actually have a lot of the boxes that I need to get fixed up and get ready for over the winter for next year, because if you don't know, bees tend to split every year, so that they take one hive and make it 2. So the old queen leaves, a new queen is raised, and that's how they duplicate themselves. But yeah, now you guys are seeing it's not always just trading, but it's also my bees. Now I get asked this question a lot: why bees, Marley? What made you interested in bees? Well, the market is an unpredictable thing, and you got to learn to control that which you can control. Bees is a very unpredictable animal, wild animal, and you can only control what you can control. I can control giving them a good home. I can control by giving them a wonderful place to stay and all the resources they need, but the rest is pretty much up to them. So that's the reason why I love bees and I love being around them. There you can see is my little hut. It's full of resources and stuff for my bees. And yeah, at the moment I've got about 50 hives, so I do make some pretty good honey. Here is Daniel and Rebecca wanting to say hi. Say hi, Daniel.
My name is Daniel. I'm my name is Rebecca, and
Are you guys driving in the car?
yeah, we were busy to drive in the car, and we were playing a game. We drive in the car, and everything was expensive, and my expensive bed, which is on the floor.
That sounds like fun.
And Rebecca's mad at her for it, which is good.
Cool. Guys, I am busy doing some cooking while I'm waiting for NFP. So I'm making some fat cakes for the kids today. But I thought while I was doing this, let me talk to you guys about, just some basic psychology kind of stuff. Things that in trading that you are normally always hear, but I think is important to hear, especially from traders that have been around and are able to support you and help you. So guys, I think one of the most important things when it comes to trading is you have to be patient. No, I'm busy talking. So one of the things I think which is important is, as I'm making these fat cakes now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, what does it take for you to make a beautiful golden brown fat cake? It takes patience, because you got to make the dough, and dough is one of those recipes or ingredients that takes a lot of love and attention and patience. So whenever you make fat cakes, you've got to be patient to let the dough rise. You've got to give it time to set properly. So the process takes quite a bit of time. You're taking a piece of dough from this, which looks like this, into this beautiful golden ball. So if you're not in South Africa, then you might be like, what's that, money? But this is like, we take a piece of dough bread, which you would normally use for for a bun, and we then put it in some hot oil, and that becomes a fat cake, which we then either fill with a sweet or a savory type of filling. So this is something, but the reason why I'm talking about this is because it is so important for us, especially in trading, to remember that patience is the key to everything. You know, if the oil must be right, the dough must have stood long enough. So there's a whole process that goes into actually making this. But in order for you to be successful at this, it's very hard, Dasline. It's very, very great. So one of the things you need to do to be successful at this is, or have a successful fat cake, which looks like this, is you have to be patient. You have to let the process do what it's supposed to do. And you have to follow the instructions or the recipe and the way it's supposed to be done exactly. Now, you can take some shortcuts. It's up to you. I mean, you can take shortcuts. I just don't think you're going to have an end product that is going to be as amazing as when you take your time and you take it slow and easy and do it the way it's supposed to be done. So I think the reason why I'm talking about this is because I think it's very similar to us in life. You know, we want to rush things. You want to rush your trading journey. It's not fun showing up every single day, sitting behind the computer for the whole day and not getting an entry, or taking a stop loss on a trade that you know that's going to go in your direction, but you never get that alignment in your trade to actually execute the setup. And because of that, you get frustrated. You want to take a shortcut. I know. I deal with that every single day from a psychological perspective. And the reality is, what you need to understand is, if you are going to rush your trading journey and you're going to try and get a shortcut or try and do it faster or try and do it any other way, you are going to lose. You're going to lose profit and you're not going to be happy with the end result. Because the only way for you to get the end result like this, you got to be patient. You got to take your time. You got to follow the steps and you got to keep going at it. The first time you make it, it might suck. First trade you take, you might lose. You might revenge trade. There's so many things that you do that ends up curbing that end result. But if you show up every single day and you keep doing this over and over and over, then you get really, really good at it. My son Wally was busy helping me now. My eldest Zayn, he said to me, "Mom, how did you get so good at making fat cakes?" And the way I got good at it is by just making a lot of mistakes and showing up every single time to do it and getting better and better and better at executing it. And that's the same thing in trading. It is the exact same thing in trading. You have to be patient. I mean, this entire time that we're talking, I'm watching this and I've got to wait for them to get to that golden brown stage. If I take them out too quick, then they're going to be raw inside. If I leave them too long, it's going to be too dark on the outside and it's not going to taste very well. And it's the exact same thing with your trading journey. So stop trying to find that shortcut. Stop trying to find that angle that is going to make you more money. Stop trying to chase the highest win rate you can possibly you can get. What you need to do is just get a strategy that works, strategy that you understand, and a strategy that you can execute, and execute it in long enough for your edge to play out. So guys, I have created a 12-week series where I'm going through 12 specific things that I wish that I had learned earlier on my journey. So if you guys want to check it out, the video is in the link on top now. So I think it's a good watch after this one. So I think it's important to just be patient with your journey. Take time, enjoy the journey, enjoy this road that you are going to be walking on now, and don't try and avoid the pitfalls, because they are going to happen. You can have a trading mentor, you can have everybody around you, but the moment that trade goes against you, those psychological triggers are going to engage. Those things are going to happen to you that happens to all of us. And at that moment, what you do is extremely important. Are you going to follow your strategy, or are you going to try and emotionally bend your rules to fit the scenario? Remember, 95% of the time when you bend your rules, it's going to play out in your favor. It's going to play out. You're going to get that trade that you're looking for, and then you're going to justify it to yourself to say, yeah, you see, look at this. These rules work better. And then for a whole week, it's going good. And then the next week, when you get back into the chart, for some odd reason, your strategy is just going backwards. Things are going pear-shaped and you're trying to figure out what the heck happened. Well, it's because at that emotional state where you decided to adjust or adapt your rules, it worked out. You didn't base that decision upon credible evidence, going back, checking all your trades, making sure that the edge really is as good as it is. No, you based it upon a feeling. And unfortunately, when we do that in trading, we actually then break down the edge that we originally had. And it causes us to lose a lot more money. But the money is not the issue. It is the psychological, the emotional damage that is very, very, very difficult to come back from. So please, rather stick to your strategy. Manage risk, stick to your strategy, and survive in the market long enough for your edge to keep playing over and over and over again. Otherwise, you're either going to have a raw fruit cake or you're going to have a really juicy, crispy one. And trust the process, guys. Just trust the process. And that is a wrap for the trading week, guys. Let me show you what I did this week in trades and what profits I made. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you guys some of the setups that I took for the week on my pairs. And then I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a extra little thingy that I think is really going to help you. I have, obviously you guys know that I trade with prop firms, and what I did is I was building up a new risk profile for my year on my prop firms. So I thought I will just break it down for you guys how you can actually create a risk profile for your trading. Now, many people don't do this. As a matter of fact, I have seen very little people teach on this, and that's why I am so adamant on teaching you guys this, because if you do not have this, and if you do not know how to do a stress test on your strategy, then how are you going to even be profitable? It's no wonder you are passing a funded account and losing a funded account, and passing a funded account and losing a funded account, because you need to know how to do a stress test. You need to understand that your strategy needs to go through some sort of stress test to see whether it is still going to be viable. I mean, if you put your strategy through a stress test and it shows you that you are going to have 21 losers in a row, that's the potential drawdown, you need to rethink your strategy in overall. You can't even trade it then on a prop firm. But now it's time for me to do the recap with you guys and show you guys what I've done and what my stress test for my strategy looks like for this year based upon my prop firms. Not my personal accounts, because I know exactly, but I want to have a different risk profile for my prop firms, because if you guys have been following along, you would know that I have moved a lot of my funds over to prop firms, and I'm still going to be scaling a lot of it. So let's jump onto my computer and show you what I've done. All right, guys, here you can see my week started off. Where are we now? Right there. So you can see there's the fifth. That would be the first trade that I took on USD/JPY. This was a pretty hefty trade. So this is the fifth that I took the first trade. You can see here what time I took the trade. So I record the date, what type of trade it is. I record what type of pair it is. Is it a win or a loss? Oh, this one must be a loss there. Loss. And then the yellow actually indicates to me which trades was, which ones were really quickly taken, which means there was a reoccurring of it. So I'm also tracking, how many trades are happening every single time, which ones are good setups and which ones are not. So yeah, I opened up the week with, I haven't taken a withdrawal. So let me just do that. So I haven't taken a withdrawal. So here you can see I opened up the week with 11,400. Okay, so the reason why it's on a $10,000 account is because it's a lot easier for me to just duplicate it across all my accounts. So if I keep my trading journal on $10,000, it's a lot easier because I know on the 150, I multiply this by 10. If it's the 50, I multiply it by 5. If it's the 25, I multiply it by 2.5. If it's a 15, I multiply it by 1.5. So it just makes it a lot easier keeping the journal like this because I am trading multiple prop firms. So I open up with 11.5. That was the opening balance. This was after my first trade. And I ended off the week. This morning, I was still sitting on break even. You can see here 11.5. I was sitting on break even this morning, and then my 4 trades for today, which I took after NFP, I had a winner, another winner, and a loser. So let me run you guys through the trades and show you the trades that I took this week. Where is? All right, guys, so this was the first trade that I took on gold. You can see here, this was a nice winner. Caught it right there, and I took it all the way to the top. That was a nice 1 to 2. Then I had a short there that I was potentially looking at. Obviously, it didn't play out for me, so that was a winner and a loser. Here, I had another loser, so I had a double losing streak for the day. It didn't actually go to my level, and the next one it did. And it never actually got to a 1-to-1 level where I could make it a break-even trade. So I had 3 losers and 1 winner. Then I had another winner here, which made it 2 winners and 3 losers. And then I had my last trade, this little one here, just before NFP. You can see I entered like right here, NFP. This is the candle. This candle right here was NFP. So right before that candle, you could see I was out of the trade, and I took my profit and walked away. I didn't get another entry, and I don't trade news, guys. So, and then on Euro USD, let's go to the 5th, the beginning of the week. So let's quickly see here. That was last week's trade. So here we are. So my first trade on Euro USD was a nice winner. Beautiful little trade there. Quick 1-to-1. And then I had, same day I had gold, I had 2 losers on Euro USD. That was a 4 losing streak for the day, which was pretty crazy and painful. But it's one of those things. So I had another loser here. So remember, 1 winner, and I have 3 losers on Euro USD as well. And then today I had a very nice winner just after NFP. So look at this. While everybody was running after NFP, I actually got my entry after with a retracement of NFP, and I hit a nice 1-to-2 there. Very nice little trade there, and ended off my week in a win, because I had 3 losers, which was 100, 100, 100, and then I had 2 winners, which was 400. So I was $100 up on Euro USD. Let's quickly see here on GBP USD. What was the trades that I took this week? So I didn't get anything on the first day. You could see the price was completely erratic. There I took a short. I was expecting it to bounce because there was that level to there. It didn't really bounce, which was fine. I took the loser. And then here was a very nice double winner for me for the day. So I only take 2 trades a day. Sometimes if I have 1 winner, I will maybe take a second trade. So I like to take 2 trades a day if it presents itself. So there I had a winner and another winner, one on top of each other, because GBP USD is actually a very good pair. Really pays me well, and the movements are very, very clean. And then this trade was a loser. So I had a loser here. That was when? Was on the 8th. And today, just after NFP, same thing happened. You had NFP, you had that candle that pushed up on the back. I got it in on there, took it all the way to the bottom, and then I entered this one, which is still running right now. It's not on my journal, but I am already to a 1-to-1. So right now, it hit there, and as a matter of fact, this trade is actually closed off. Price came back. My stop loss is just about break even, so this is a break even trade for me. And then a USD JPY. Let's quickly have a look there. There's all the prop firms and the size of the accounts and stuff. So let's quickly have a look here. All right, so here we go. First trade was a loser on Monday. Didn't have much. Next day I had a winner, and then I had another loser. Turned against me there. Because I was actually expecting the price, because we had this one. Then this one was a bit lower than this one. So I was expecting this one to actually continue the trend, but it just turned against. It's one of those things. You never know what the market's going to do. Then here I had another loser here. So it was pretty much a very hectic losing. It took a lot of psychology to get through this week. Look, another loser. And then I didn't have any more trades. So USD JP was actually my worst pair. So I had 1, 2, 3 losers. 3 losers and 1 winner. And was it also this one? Yes. So I had 4 losers. That's $400 down, $200 up. So on USD JPY this week, my worst pair, guys. Worst pair for the week. This is the only pair that I wasn't up. I'm actually $200 down on this pair. And that was pretty much the trading that I did for this week. I pretty much did that's pretty much the total amount of trading that I did. Gold, paid me, especially after NFP now. Euro USD bounced really nicely back. GBP USD paid me very well this week. And I mean, I did end off the week pretty well. I mean, if you take the profit for this week, I opened up the week 11.5. I'm now at 12. So that means I did $500 on the 10,000. So obviously that's 2,500 on the 50. Is it? Yeah, it's 2,000. So I did $10,000. Sorry, on the 50,000 that would be 10,000 because it's 5 times. So I did 50,000 on my prop firm accounts. The 50,000s I did 2,500 on the $25,000 because I still have 125 and 115 that I also trade. The 15 I'm not quite sure. But on the 150, that's obviously you're multiplying that by 15. So it's 2 times. So I did about $30,000 on the $150,000 account there. So I don't think it was too bad a week. It was a tough week. Psychologically, if you guys saw how many losers I took, it was pretty crazy. But now let me show you guys how my risk profile, what my risk profile looks like, because I did trade my prop firms like this week. And because my psychology took such a bad knock, I've decided to downgrade my risk, because although I ended off my week, I did not breach any of my accounts. I did, however, get like on this other prop firm I have, which is I think its name is Funded Hive or something like that. I did, however, get a warning there to say that I'm no longer a safe parameter type of trader. They've actually upgraded me to like a bit of a medium risk trading, so Funded Hive. So I'm a little bit afraid of that because that's going to influence my payouts in the future with him, because I'm still passing my prop firm with him. So I'm a little bit hesitant on doing it at 1% per trade. So that is now, let me show you guys the risk profile that I want to do on my prop firm accounts, because my risk is too heavy. I had a very stressful week and I don't want to be in the stress again. I don't want to get close to my daily drawdown limits. I don't want to get close to my total drawdown like I did this week, especially with the losing streak and that. And so what I did is I put my strategy through a thorough stress test, and here is how I did it. Let me show you guys. Now that you have your results, like you can see here, this is my results since the beginning of the year. So I started a new journal for the beginning of the year, so you can see these are all the trades that I've taken now for this year. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your trading journal with the trades that you've taken, or your backtest, whatever, and you're going to open up ChatGPT. Then you're going to paste all of your results into ChatGPT. What ChatGPT is then going to do, it's going to give you an overall performance, right? It's going to give you an idea of what it looks like. Then you can, here it is, you can see 10,000 was 12, 38 trades, 19 wins, 18 losers, 1 break even, 50%, 2,000 was the net P&L. And then risk model, you can see it's a 1 to 2, so it picks up all of this. So then it's going to give you a whole breakdown of losing streaks, which was 4 and then, but now this is very, very important. What you're going to do is, after it gives you all of this, you're going to say to ChatGPT, stress test this over 100 to 300 trades. So what it's going to do is it's going to take a specific formula and run it through that, right? So perfect. Here is a proper stress test of your system using actual stats. So your win rate is 50, risk is 100, 200, all of this. So it's going to use the Monte Carlo. So if you don't know what that is, go and research, but that is a stress test system that they use. So it throws these things randomly and then it's going to do some sort of stress test for you and tell you. So this is something that a lot of institutions and banks run all the time. They are constantly looking at these type of tests on their strategies and stuff, because it's important for them to know what their downsides. So the Monte Carlo is going to give you the best case scenario, worst case scenario, and then the most likely type of scenario. So here it is. Randomized order, 100 trades. Net P&L is 5,900. Ending. So if I take, you guys saw I only take 39 trades. Over 100 trades, my P&L would be about 5,900, which is not bad. It's about 59% on the account, which is not too bad. Right, max drawdown would be minus $600. That means 6 losers in a row. Over 200 trades, it gets to 11 losses. So my max losing streak has the potential to get to 11 losses. I'm sitting now worst case 4, but this is what this is a psychological danger zone most traders never prepare for. Now look over 300 trades. The stress test showed that there would be 8 losers. So I'll make pretty good money over 300 trades, but you can see 8 losses, so 11 and 8. So what does that really mean? Now it's going to give you your losing streak will exceed what you've seen, Now, the next thing, after you've got all of this, right, you're now going to type in and say, okay, I already have this in my system. You'll see I check my stuff all the time. So ChatGPT knows what it is. But if you are new, instead of saying, how should I adjust my risk for the stress test? You're going to say, I have a $50,000 funded account with this company. This is my max drawdown. This is my daily drawdown. How can you apply this where I don't lose the account and I can actually keep it? So here it is. What the stress test. Okay, so there it is. 11 losses, 14 odd. But then what it did here is it didn't work it out. It didn't include my daily drawdown and my max loss. So then I had to re-put it in. I had to rebase it again in there. And I had to tell it, okay, my challenges gives me a 7% max and a 3% daily. Now, not all prop firms are like that, but I do like to use these because instant fundeds tend to come close to this. So what happened here is now gives me a new this. So it will say 6 to 11 loss streaks is normal. Worst case scenario is 10 to 12. So we need to work on that. All right. So what is it then? You can see, and now it says to me that these types of risk, you can understand why this week was hectic for me, because look at that. It's just too crazy. I can't be doing that. So 10 losses at 0.5 is going to give me 5%. Now, this is, again, it's still too heavy for me, because what happens if we have a really bad time? So you can see here, none of these are fun. So what I then did is, you can see here, 0.5, max losses, daily loss, past probability, 0, and you can see how it goes down. But now I don't want to be like that. So I said, let's look at a scenario of 0.35. So now you start playing around with ChatGPT, asking it, what does it do? So here it now does an equivalent. It works through everything. Now look at this. So what it's going to do, it's going to work out everything for you. And then it's going to say to you, okay, at 0.35, daily safety, brilliant. Stress test safe, yes. 5% also, but I would rather prefer that. But then what did I do? I also said, whoa, let's run a 0.4% as well, because I also want to maximize on every single trade I take on the prop firm. So perfect. So it runs the exact same scenario for me again. And then look at this. So now it says to me 0.35 daily safety, ultra safe, 0.4 optimal. So what am I going to do? The moment that I get to 11 losses, I will then automatically shift from a 0.4 to 0.35 until I'm back up with my level to where what the maximum drawdown was where I've recovered the drawdown here, and then I will continue trading from there with that. So now I have a likely scenario. So what do you do after you've done this and you've worked out where you feel you are comfortable? Because look at this, the final verdict, 0.5 is arguably your best balance. Safer than 0.5, faster than 0.35, fully compatible with your stress-tested edge, very high probability of passing. This is how professional traders trade prop challenges, okay? So it's also ranking me. Part of my settings is to always check with that. So what do? I then said, can you create a one page for my 150 account, my 50s, my 25s, my 15s, okay? So what does it do? It creates me a one-page risk cheat sheet. 0.4% risk. You can download it or you can copy it. Now, purpose. Instant reference for position sharding across all accounts under the 7 and the 3. Fixed risk. 0.4. Risk to reward. All of this out. Now look at this. So when I go in on Monday and I take an account, I look at my 150, I know I need to be at $600. That's where I'm going to be. So I now know that is the maximum. 0.4% is what I'm going to risk. $600 is what I'm going to risk on my account. Drawdown on my stress test, 10 losses is 4%. 11 losses is 4.4%. Leaves me with a 2.6 buffer under the max deal. Okay. Execution rules, non-negotiable. Safe risk on every trade. No scaling during challenge. So I don't scale at all. Stay the same. If it's a $150,000 account, you stick to the base of $150,000. You don't up it with the account. No increase in size after wins. Stop immediately after daily limit is hit. Okay, so once you've hit it, you're out. Core. My job is not to make money. My job is to stay in the game long enough for my edge to play out. There it is. You guys have it. There is my stress test. I'm going to be printing this now, putting it on my table, putting it up against my wall, and now I have my own risk profile. I now know that when I open up my charts on Monday and I get ready with my prop firm accounts, that is where I'm going to be working from. I know exactly how much each account needs to be risking. I know where my safe is. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable now because I now know that when I am going to go into it and I am going to experience a hectic week like this week, I'm going to protect my downside. And this is what creates long-term professional traders that takes consistent payouts from their prop firms and keeps their prop firm accounts for a long time, because you have some sort of game plan. I have a game plan. I have results. I have trading results. I have statistics behind it. I have last year's statistics plus this year's, because remember, just because I had some good success last year does not mean that it's not going to happen this week. So what do? Every single week after I take trades, I will take those new bundle of trades and put it through that same stress test and say, are we still aligned? Are we still aligned with this? Are we still aligned? And the moment that ChatGPT picks up that there's any deviation for me, I will then shift risk. What do I mean with shifting risk? If I see anything wrong, I will drop from a 0.4 to a 0.3 or a 0.25. I will drop to it easily, because the idea with my prop firm is not for me to make maximum money out of my prop firm. The idea is, can I grow my money steadily over a certain period of time? Can I take a payout every single month from my prop firm? Instead of trying to over leverage the account and take a $10,000 payout from my prop firm every single month, can I not rather just take a $5,000 or a $6,000 from the prop firm, but I get to breathe. I get to feel good. I get to sit back and not go through that stress. Because can you imagine? I mean, look at my stress test. 11 losers in a row. I'm at 50%. This is my worst week so far on this strategy ever. I normally sit on the strategy between 61 to 72%. That's what I normally sit on. I'm now sitting on 50% this week. My amount of losers this week just completely dragged it down for the beginning of January. Obviously, I'm trading it now for this year, and then I compare this year's statistics, January statistics to last year's statistics, because I want to see, is my edge still applicable? Is it just an anomaly that's happening? Obviously, we know Donald Trump, Venezuela. There's so many things that are happening. So I need to consistently be back checking things and checking it. And ChatGPT is my best friend for it. You can use Grok, you can use many of these other AIs, but train it in the beginning. The first time you interact with it, tell it, I am a profitable day trader. I need you to answer me with a lens as a day trader. You've got 10 years of profitable experience. Benchmark me. Teach your AI to align with who you are. That's what my AI, when I put in my trading statistics, my AI already knows it needs to not only risk profile it for my personal accounts, it also risk profiles it for my prop firms. It knows exactly what size prop firm accounts I have. It also knows exactly what scaling. I've got a scaling system. So next week, I'll show you guys how I build a scaling system. I'll show you how you can predict how many trades it's going to take for you to pass a prop firm based upon your existing results. So next week's results, I'll feed it in and then I will tell it, if I was to buy another 150 now, or I was to up another 50, how long will it take me to pass a prop firm challenge? So what do I now know? If it says to me I need to take 30 or 40 trades, then I no longer focus on whether I win or lose. I just go and focus on taking 40 trades on that account, executing exactly the way I'm supposed to execute, and I know that I will pass it. In the event that there is some anomaly, I will pick it up, know that it's happening. If I do see that things are going back crap crazy, I'll step back from that specific prop firm for the week, and I'll jump back in it next week. I don't know why people are so afraid to step away from the charts for a week. People are so afraid to step away and just say, you know what, this week is absolutely crazy. Let me just step back from it. From a psychological perspective, the drawdown is killing me. Everything is killing me. I'm just gonna start next week with it again. So there. I hope this really helps you guys to understand how I thoroughly test everything. Nothing. I don't leave anything for chance. The only thing that I leave to chance or how it will play out is the market. Beyond that, whatever I can control, I tend to control. And the reality is that which you do not measure, you cannot manage. And that which you cannot manage will eventually end up managing you. That's your emotion. So if you are not taking the metrics, doing the work, managing it properly, being on top of your statistics, being on top of your edge and where your accounts are, then eventually it starts managing you, because you go into big drawdowns, you feel like you're losing prop from accounts, you feel like it's the end of the world, and you're sitting there wondering, why is this happening to me? So guys, if you enjoyed this video and this vlog, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the thumbs up for me. It really does help a channel. It's something you can do absolutely for free. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to help you to exercise your finger. But yes, it does help out a channel like mine to grow and to help other people. Because remember, if you're sitting here watching my video up to this point, I can almost guarantee you that there is about another 10% people out there that are just like you and me, looking to become a better trader, looking for ways to become a smarter, more efficient trader. Maybe they are unprofitable and they want to become profitable. And if we do not create this content, if you're not watching it, I'm not creating it, who's going to do this for these people? So we are working together to reach more people. But as always, guys, thank you so much for joining me in this week's episode. And I will see you guys again next week on the next vlog. Give you guys an update on where the statistics are, how the prop firms have grown, what the current results are, and where we are standing at the moment. And then as soon as I do take some payouts at the end of January, I'll also be posting that for you guys. So 2026 is our first year of great returns, guys. So stop being afraid of the prop firms, stop being negative, and start becoming positive. Start becoming excited about your future, because trust me, the space is expanding everywhere. There's expansion, the economies are expanding, more money is coming to the market. So why are you so afraid? What are you afraid of being successful, afraid of being very rich, afraid of driving that sports car that you've always wanted? Are you afraid of living in that house that you've been dreaming of? No, it's time to take action. So subscribe and let's take action together. As always, guys, have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Happy trading!